guys, I got my list. These are the questions everybody asked, and we're going to just have a little sit down and answer all the questions.
Mm-hmm.
So Alex, one of the guys asked, how do you get started, and what are the basic tools in paint? I think a lot of that we probably covered, but how did you get started?
I got my inspiration from this guy named Frankie Bird.
Okay.
From Baldwin. You know, he pinstriped my dump truck.
And I think Gary mentioned Frankie Bird also.
Gary.
Somebody from back in the day.
Yeah, that goes back 70s, early 70s. You know, so he says, Alex, you could pinstripe, man. You got it, man. You know, I showed him some oil paintings I did. So he showed me really quick with a little baby jar, filled it full of white one-shot, put a little terps in there, shook it up, and he says, here you go, man. He had a Mac brush, you know. He says, this is a good brush for me. So he gave me the oomph to go and do it.
Huh.
I was leaving the sanitation department, which I hated at that time. It was a back-breaking job, and I
So
said, you know what?
you were a garbage man.
I was a garbage man. Oh, and a concrete man. I mean.
That's right. You worked concrete with your dad.
Ass-kicking, tough people, you know, and that's not me. But I said, you know what? I got to do something nice and calm, mellow, happy. You know, so that looked good to me. He pinstriped my dump truck. I says, I'm going to pinstripe. I don't care what came around my house. Anything that came around my house, old junk cars. I got out my brush and I started pinstriping junk cars.
So you got started. Frankie Bird gave you.
No, he didn't give it to me. He just told me what to buy.
Oh, what to buy? So you went out and you got some white
and
one
I got
shot?
my own stuff. Yeah.
So you bought what? What'd you buy? Just.
Well, I got a few colors, one-shot colors from an art store.
Right.
And a couple of Mac brushes, which I particularly don't like right now, but they make better Mac brushes.
But you were just starting out. You didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't give a crap. You know, it looked halfway decent.
Right.
And I stayed with it. That's the key. Is stay with it. And confidence, self-confidence.
And how do you get a steady hand?
You're born with it.
Like I know, like I noticed, like you did this when you were doing some of the artwork, but you don't have to drag your hand along.
You need to be a very mellow.
You
need to be a very mellow person, which I've always been. This also too makes you more mellow.
But I guess if you're nervous, you'll tend to shake your hand a little bit, and it's really, like you said, it's confidence.
Yeah,
to pull that line.
Also, tired doesn't help if you
Yeah.
want to pinstripe. If you start getting tired, and if you start getting very hungry,
Yeah.
you know, the tired and the hungry will make you a little shaky.
Now,
You need to have a lot of good sleep. Sleep is important. You need a balanced, a lifestyle, balanced lifestyle.
so you shouldn't be like
A nervous wreck.
drink a case of beer and try and pinstripe. How do you trim your brushes? Do you trim brushes? Or you
No,
just
I
use
don't
them?
actually. Really, I don't. Yeah.
You don't trim your brushes at all.
No, actually, some stripers like to snip the end of the dagger brush,
Right.
so it'll paint the square line.
That's like a blunt end.
Yeah, they'll take just the very top and snip it, you know, which is a good idea. But I never did start doing that.
No.
No.
So not even like a wayward hair kind of sticking out.
Oh yeah,
You just pluck that
oh,
out.
yeah.
But just clipping the end.
A pain in the ass hair, I call it.
Pain in the ass hair. But you never really just
Well, yeah, you know,
customize your
that
brushes.
lends right back into how you wash your brush and how you maintain your brushes and stuff like that. If you go through to the art store and you start looking at the brushes and you pick out a favorite and you make sure that you take good care of it because that brush is your best friend.
It's going to put a lot of money in your pocket if you do it for money.
There's two ways of looking at it. Right now, how do I like looking at it, at pinstriping and artwork is the love.
Right.
But I do need money. So once in a while, I have to do a job where I got to make a buck, you know.
But having a favorite brush is
also,
like having a favorite wrench.
I also have a good reputation, so I can run into constant work. But I'm more or less right now. I'm going towards airplanes. I just love airplanes.
I didn't notice that.
Didn't notice why.
That
I like airplanes?
There's not a hint anywhere that you like airplanes.
Plain nuts, yeah.
I thought you were.
Well, I stay with what I like, you know.
I thought you collected fishing lures. So, what's the best tip you ever learned? The best tip somebody, you figured out on your own, or what's the best tip in pinstriping?
My best.
What was the best tip you learned? Like from Gary the Brush or Frankie Bird?
That's a hard one to answer. I think the best thing to think about is confidence.
Right now, the best tip I learned right now is that Conti Paris pencil trick.
Oh yeah.
From Alex. I never knew that.
Never knew that.
I think I can't wait to get back to Missouri to try that. How do you thin paint, and what kind of thinner? And I think we covered that earlier.
Turpentine, minerals,
What is that?
mineral spirits. This is the new version of the old
Yeah,
turpentine.
This is the stuff I use.
Odorless. Back when I was pinstriping a lot of Camaros and Firebirds, they had this real strong mineral spirits. It smelled like crap.
This is the same stuff I use. I have a smaller can that I keep in my paint box, but I buy the big jammy, and I keep filling that up because the little can it fits in my paint box easy.
And let's not forget about the boiled linseed oil.
And the linseed oil. And we showed you that
boiled
earlier.
Linseed oil is oil. It'll make the one-shots slip. Grease it along, but not too much. You might take away the strength of the paint. Little drops at a time.
How important are brushes?
Extremely.
So
Extremely important.
what are the brushes you use? I know we saw some earlier.
It's all in the feel. You pick up a brush and you say, well, this looks like it's a good action brush. Buy it, and then experiment with it. So if that particular brand don't work for you, then buy another brand and work with that. It's all experimental.
So like that first brush you used was the MAC brush you can get at any auto body supply, and those guys use that MAC brush primarily to touch up edges on doors when they burn them up polishing or something like that.
The MAC brushes,
they touch up chips and whatnot.
The MAC brushes of yesteryear and the MAC brushes of today
are different.
The MAC brushes of yesteryear were very crude. That's why I never started striping with the MAC brushes.
Well, I learned that with a Grumbaka with the square handle.
Grumbackers are good too. The square handles, yeah.
But I've come to like a MAC Light.
The Grumbackers have a nice big number 4 for laying down heavy lines.
Tractor trailer lines.
Yeah. You're gonna need to use a bigger brush. The bigger the vehicle, the bigger the brush you're gonna use.
And now, how do you load your brush and know when it's loaded properly? Now we kind
It's in the feel.
of covered that.
It's in the feel. It's paddling your brush back and forth, getting that slight little tug on the hairs.
Right.
You need a
and
little,
as you paddle
right in the middle.
you
You need
feel
it
that
right
tug.
in the middle. It's got to be flowing, but it's got to have a little tug on it at the same time.
And how do you hold your brush? Now we saw how you held your brush and
These 3 fingers.
right.
And then my pinky.
Right.
And this with 3 fingers, you can twirl it if you're going to do curves and stuff like that.
Now I noticed that it's like I'll use this. I hold it between my thumb and forefinger, and then I rest it on my middle finger, kinda. And Alex holds it with all 3 fingers like that.
Yeah.
So there's no right way or wrong way to hold your brush.
Getting comfortable with yourself. The most comfortable thing. Then stay with it. The most important thing is practice, practice, practice. You got to put in the time to practice to finally master it.
And how do you store your brushes? Now I know me. I just throw them in my paint
Well,
box.
I have this little screen over here. I stick them in over there. Or sometimes you could hang them upside down, so they stay straight. Once you oil your brush, then you can. You got to watch out you don't bend the brush's hair.
Because it'll maintain that bend.
Yeah. It'll be permanent then.
All right, how do you come up with a design?
Imagination. Imagination to me are visions in my head at nighttime. I start thinking of things. Or you know what? Also,
you keep a pad by the bed and sketch out your designs?
Yeah, well, you know what? You look at magazines, you look at newspaper ads, which I have all this over here.
Yeah. We're going to pull a box out here,
guys. A whole
guys.
thing of things that I like. And this is happening over the years. I got.
Look at this box he's got of all his old designs and stuff. And these are other, like that thing we just did on the trunk of his clunker car. There's one right there. Okay? And he saves them.
Right.
So you can use them again, or
I say that looks good.
he may have somebody come in and they got a clip in the quarter panel of their car and he did this design. He could be like, well, hey, wait a minute. I still got that. I'll go get it and I can fix it up for you.
And lettering, save lettering. Everybody should have a collection of visual things that they like. And here's a nice lettering.
So there, you got the Blue Angels there.
Yeah,
that lettering.
Isn't that nice?
And I think in the other box here, you had some other stuff. It was like newspaper print in there.
You know what's really great is pictures of flowers. Flowers look great on cars.
Yeah, can you open that up?
This is an oversized rose, which I did on that chair over there.
All right, here's another one I like. I'll show this to you guys. This is like this Sailor Jerry kind of tattoo art. He's got that little like swallow there, and he'll put a bird on something. Like he could have put this on that trunk lid with the other stuff.
Right. This goes on and on and on and on.
And you had another piece in here I liked of the lettering, Alex. Talking about where lettering ideas come from.
This is potato chips.
And that's, you know, if you look, the ruffles, the lettering, that chiseled edge with the bright and the dark, giving it definition. Art is everywhere.
Right.
And you don't even realize it half the time. I got to find that one that I liked out of the newspaper. There you go.
Pergaments?
Yeah, it was the Pergament ad, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Pergaments is out of business, gangs. That lets you know how long Alex has had this. This January 15th, 1999 newspaper. So look at the lettering on that. Where it says
sale on Pergaments.
Big bargain deals. There's your inspiration for some lettering, you know? So it's anywhere and everywhere. And that's why he saves this, so he can have like oh, I remember that in the paper. I saved it for, I don't know, 26 years, Alex? 1999? So, but still, it gives you an idea. Like even on where it says big, you can shade the lettering and everything. You know, we're doing this DVD about pinstriping, but like I say, everything's related. And you'll be pinstriping and lettering, and that's where you get your ideas from. So that's like, I guess, where Alex gets his designs from. It's everywhere, you know?
It's everywhere.
It's like a
supermarket.
Another piece of this, you know?
The cereal aisle has great stuff. Captain Crunch.
And then I got here, what's the secret to a layout? And can you overdo it? And how do you know when to stop? So let's go back to, what's the secret to a layout?
Balance, perspective, style. Learn how to fill a space properly.
Right, not overwhelm it.
Not overwhelm it.
So right, and
you need negative space.
It.
You need negative space as well as positive space.
Right.
You can't fill up too much. Oh, it'll get overdone, and then it gets confusing to the eye, and then it's a mess.
Right. When pulling a long line, how do you go back into it and start pulling again, like we did on the car right there?
When you finish, when you have to lift the brusher off the surface, you pull it off without making a mistake. Pull it off. Then you load up your brush again, and then you backtrack a little bit so you get the right width. And then you start laying it down and pulling it towards you.
So you go in and you
gotta
go like a couple inches back and touch really light until you get okay. And do you breathe or hold your breath when pulling a line?
Well, if I get a little nervous, like going underneath the mirror,
yeah,
I'll hold my breath going underneath there.
And I hold my breath.
But usually
sometimes.
I'm comfortable enough to lay a long line like on an open surface. You know?
I'll notice if I'm holding something in my legs at a show and I'm like this and I'll and hold my breath because I'm shaking a little bit or just because of the way I'm sitting. How do you fix a mistake?
Turpentine and a paper towel.
You just kind of
with the enamel, you know, it'll just wash.
Well, one shot takes forever to dry, so you got a large window of opportunity.
Actually, you could what do you call it? Take off a line the next morning with one shot.
If you go back in with like turpentine?
Yeah, well, then within a couple hours, you got to watch. White will leave a shadow sometimes.
Yeah.
You know? A little bit of white compound, then will take away the shadow. If you have a paint that's already set up, you could use what do you call it, grease and wax remover instead
Okay.
of, you know.
What's the best striping paint that has good cover? Now, obviously, you
Well,
use
I
one shot.
mean, I got used to using one shot.
Have you ever tried anything
Well,
else?
no, I haven't.
No?
No, I said,
Oh,
well,
just a
this
one shot, man.
this is good enough for me.
Yeah, I learned how to. I
I
learned
mean,
with
I
one shot.
actually tell you the truth. I should experiment with other things. You know? I got used to what I
Yeah.
do, you know, and I just don't want to change.
I got one shot and I never ventured away
And
from
actually, too, you know what? You need to focus on pinstriping. You need to focus on it's such a craft. You need to really meditate how you're going to do this. But if you go into other things, lettering is a whole nother branch of artwork. Airbrushing is another whole thing, you know. How much good could you do at everything? You got to limit it down, you know, before you go all over everywhere.
All right. Now, I know this probably doesn't pertain to you. This is more for like auto body type guys and motorcycle guys. But when burying stripes under clear, what causes it to blur or sag? And how do you clear over your stripes?
I got a guy in Farmingdale, a very good friend of mine that I've been dealing with like for 25 years. Patterson Brothers, Stu Patterson, and I give him my things to clear. And he's got a clear process where he uses a fast drying clear right away. So it cements it down, and then he uses a wash over top of that, a wet coat with another brand of paint.
So if somebody brings you like a motorcycle gas tank,
Yeah.
and it's wet sanded, and they want you to do a bird and some fans of color,
I'll do the artwork, and then I'll take it over to my friend Stu Patterson.
take it to Stu.
Yeah, he's worked out the whole process. We've screwed up a few times here and there getting it right, but he's got a process where it's perfect.
all right. And you know, primarily, you're not going to open up a spray gun in this
There's
garage.
no way. It
So-
got out of hand in here with the stuff.
And like I said before, I have the other DVD I've done, how to paint your motorcycle at home or anything else for that matter. And I go through the whole and you could have probably heard me say that with every pinstriper I interview, but I go through the whole process and show you how to do it. I only keep saying it because I don't want to forget to say it. Yeah, but in that DVD I show you how I dust clear over the pinstripe and gold leafing and everything else I've done. So if you're so inclined, you can check that out. And now the next question would be, let me look here. What is the best way to start practicing if you've never striped before?
On junk material, old refrigerators.
We said that before,
yeah,
right?
on junk material. Nothing, what do you call it, important or valuable.
But anything, any kind of blank,
Yeah.
anything.
Anything,
Now, I
anything
know,
that's smooth.
I know I've said this before, but it's like, I want to show you this. Here's a chair that, you know, Alex hasn't gotten to yet. So, I know I got a bunch of these chairs once. Somebody threw them out in the trash. I think I got 3 or 4 of them. And I was like, you know, what the hell? I got leftover paint. I can start painting some of these chairs and doing some slobbering monsters and stuff on them. So, you know, I drug those out of the trash. And like I had showed in some of the other part of this DVD, Alex takes those big tables from someone's patio and he fills in the hole where the umbrella would go, and it's just a big blank canvas at that
Right.
point. That's, you know, use your imagination
It's
again,
a lifestyle.
you know?
This whole artwork over here could go on and on for thousands of years if you could live that long.
So, and I know, like I think I had said, you can buy those mailboxes for $10 at the home improvement store if you want to do a mailbox. I know I take empty aluminum beer bottles and I scuff them up and I use self-etching primer out of a spray can and then different color spray cans. You can pinstripe those. You know, I sell those when I'm done with them. I always get, you know, somebody had said to me, I think it was Gary the Brush, always get paid to practice. So I'll paint a monster on there and some pinstriping and stuff. You know, you get 20, 50, 60 bucks, whatever you think it's worth. Another question. Striping with something other than one shot, adding hardener to one shot to clear over it. Do you add hardener to one shot?
Never did.
I never added hardener to one shot.
Strong enough paint to do to be by itself.
I always let one shot sit for like a day or two, you know, before I clear over it, just to give it enough time to cure. So it's something you don't do.
No.
And the different brushes, I think we covered that before. Alex showed you his dagger brushes and his whoop-de-doo twirly brushes. And his special little signing his name brush. And cleaning and oiling brushes. I think you covered that also
Lacquer thinner.
outside. He uses
Yeah.
lacquer thinner to clean the brush.
Lacquer thinner.
And you gotta
If you can get it.
get it, you know, don't let it build up and get hard next to the ferrule,
No,
or it
right,
makes
yeah.
it doesn't have any movement to it. And tips on keeping let me try that one again. Tips on keeping open cans of paint from skimming. And that's what Alex had showed you with the
Right.
you poke the hole.
Yeah. Get a new can of One Shot, open it up, stir it up real good, and put the hex bolts, nuts,
Nuts and bolts.
in there. You
Right.
could use ball bearings.
Right.
You could use marbles, but I think you need a little some of the hex nuts for the flat surfaces. They'll scrape
Right.
around inside. Half a dozen or so items in there.
Right.
Put the top back on, seal it up really good, hammer it around, and then drill a little hole in the top, and then have that sheet metal screw,
Right.
and then just
Keep
go
the air out.
right. You're making basically like a aerosol rattle can out of it. You know?
Right. And that's I think also in my How to Paint Things at Home DVD, I take my siphon feed spray gun. When I have like metal flake or heavy
Right.
metallic in there,
Right.
I put some old hardware in there on my spray. I can shake it, and it stirs all the metal flake or metallic up into the paint, and I can keep going, and that keeps it, uniform. And that's it. That's the last
That's
question.
Hoorah!
So, this is Alex DeLean, Alex in Wonderland. Alex is not internet technology friendly.
No.
He does have a Facebook page. So you can go on that, and I think your brother updates that for you.
Ralphie.
But you got to find Alex on your own. It's up to you. It's like playing Candyland.
You want to leave the number? Phone number?
You got a phone number?
Yeah.
What's the phone number, Alex?
516
516
735
735
5 again 678.
5678. 5678.
Right.
For Alex in Wonderland. And he has an answering machine still. It's not a voicemail.
I'll call you back.
That's an actual landline.
Right.
So
Old world.
there you go. So if you happen to have like a Voight F4U Corsair for sale,
Right. Let me know.
Alex wants that.
Right.
Any piston-driven World War II aircraft with a prop.
I got to know about it.
Alex needs a bigger yard, but he'll put them on sticks and use the air.
We'll work something out.
Use the space above his house. Right. Alex, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
I love visiting with you.
Happy everybody.
And there you go. Thanks for Alex DeLean. What is there to say? He's a crazy guy. He's got a lot of art stuff, and that's what it's all
Plain
about.
crazy.
So thanks, guys, and let's go visit our next artist.
Okay.